Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. It's very late. It's 10 o'clock on the dot according to my phone, Monday the 23rd of April. And I'm sorry, it's been a very, very busy day, week, month, year. And today almost didn't have a video. So I apologize in advance. Let me get the housekeeping out of the way. On the 12th of May, the Canadian chapter of the Progressive Empowerment Party is having a dinner and dance. And all the Canadians and people in and around Canada, Toronto, please link up with Marissa Bash, Anil Maharaj, Naz Gafur. You will see them posting on the live. If you hear this, just scroll through the live. You will see different ads for this event. There are a couple tickets left on the 12th of May, dinner and dance. Yeah? So Marissa Bash is here and she will share the information that we need for that dinner and dance that's taking place. I don't think I really want to play any music tonight. I tried to go live earlier from St. James, but it didn't happen. And I don't know if the internet, I don't know if we have enough bandwidth now to get the share that we need. And all of these issues just so frustrating that this is what we have to put up with in this place. Last night, you see, I don't even like to talk about these things because it just sounds like, it makes the things sound so impossible. Last night, while I am doing the live, instructions are coming up on my laptop screen to close all applications. Are you sure you want to close all applications? And nothing else was going on, and I had to say no. But I didn't ask for that to happen in the first place. It's crazy what happens with everything around the time, no matter what time it is. Anyway, you know what? Forget it, yes? Let's pretend all of it is normal. If you want, share the video. The name of this video is Let's Get Serious. And it's Let's Get Serious for a reason, because I need to give you some information and then you decide. At the end of the day, you're all going to decide. The Progressive Empowerment Party, all of the people, all of the volunteers, all of the team leaders, all of the members, they're working very hard to build an alternative. You don't choose it, you stay with PNM and UNC, that's entirely up to you. I no longer dealing with zealots anymore. I appeal to the people with a conscience. You want a better country? If you don't want to do it to the Progressive Empowerment Party, start something. But do something, because we're literally about to go, we're about to crash. We're about to crash. And you're being led by criminals and thieves, and you're being guided by their mouthpieces. And you need to be a little wiser in your decision making. I want to ask, what is a developed nation? A developed nation. I don't want Wikipedia. I want a real developed country, meaning in the Cambridge English Dictionary. A country with a lot of industrial activity and where people generally have high incomes. Cambridge, you gotta give me a little more than that. Let's see who else we could find. What is? We type what is. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There are a lot of videos. There is a link here called Difference Between Developed Countries and Developing Countries. Countries are divided into two major categories by the United Nations, which are developed countries and developing countries. The classification of countries is based on the economic status, such as the GDP, the GNP, the gross domestic product, the gross national product, the per capita income, industrialization, the standard of living, etc. Developed countries refer to the sovereign state whose economy has highly progressed and possesses great technological infrastructure as compared to other nations. The countries with low industrialization and low human development index are termed developing countries. Developed countries provide free, healthy, and secure atmosphere to live, whereas developing countries lack these things. After a thorough investigation, we have compiled the differences. And So these are basis for comparison in meaning. Developed countries, a country having an effective rate of industrialization and individual income is known as developed country. Developing countries, a country which has a slow rate of industrialization and low per capita income. For unemployment and poverty, in developed countries it is low, in developing countries it is high. For rates, in developed countries, infant mortality rate, death rate and birth rate is low, while the life expectancy rate is high. In developing countries, high infant mortality rate, death rate and birth rate along with low life expectancy rate. Living conditions in a developed country is good. Living conditions in a developing country is at best moderate. Generates more revenue from industrial sector, does a developed country, and service sector, developing countries. Growth, high industrial growth for developed countries. Developing countries rely on the developed countries for their growth. Alright, I'm not taking any messages, no WhatsApps, nothing. If anybody dead or they make a child or any of those things, we'll deal with it after. Standard of living in the developed countries is high. Standard of living in the developing countries are low. Distribution of income in developed countries is equal. Distribution of income in developing countries is unequal. Factors of production are effectively utilized in developed countries. In developing countries, they are ineffectively utilized. I am going to share this. For those of you who are here for more than just the old talk and the good nights, they could scroll through this, because I'm really trying to engage the country in a higher conversation, and I'm hoping to get you all there. I want to find out when the city of Port of Spain was incorporated. I want to see if I can find that on Google. Alright, Wikipedia, I'll bite. There's also Discover Trinidad. So I'm looking both of them. Setting a case for something, you have to give me a couple minutes. Port of Spain is the capital city of Trinidad and Tobago and the country's third largest city after Chaguanas and San Fernando. The city has a municipal population of 37,074 souls according to the 2011 census. 2011 census in 2018. A metropolitan population of 128,026, 1990 estimate, and a transient daily population of 250,000 people. You hear that number? I've been telling you all that for a while. The city serves primarily as a retail and administrative center, and it has been the capital of the island since 1757. It is also an important financial services center for the Caribbean, as home to two of the largest banks in the region. But the city of Port of Spain has been the capital of the island since 1757. Now, where are we going with all this late night schoolwork? You see, I'm going to come back to these things, I'm going to come back to them. I'll come back to all of this. I had set some things to discuss with you all tonight, and I'll come back to them. But this is the one I want to talk about, and I want to get into it because I'm trying to get Trinidadians and Tobagonians to start to speak from the position of what is, what should be, and why, and that has to do with critical issues. But the Minister of Agriculture and Food Production in Trinidad and Tobago is Clarence Rambarat. Clarence Rambarat says a lot of local commentators adopt the first world mantra but fail to see that we are still a developing nation. Speaking at the Institute of Marine Affairs 40th anniversary celebration, the senator said one such issue is that it's not being treated fairly is coastal erosion. Forget that. But he's speaking on a 40th anniversary of a Marine Affairs, Institute of Marine Affairs. The country has a capital city. Now, I tried to start a live video earlier, and I was going to do the live video from St. James. and I was going to sit down next to a guy who was sitting under Euphy's on the corner of Western Main Road by the traffic lights, and he was eating a leftover box of food from another dustbin. And he is one of the between 3 and 15,000 indigent and homeless people that live in Port of Spain that there is no plan for. And I was going to talk to you from there. And then I was going to go down to Port of Spain proper, and I was going to go to the capital city, because that is the capital of Trinidad and Tobago. But at night, during the day, it's disgusting. And at night, it's a danger zone. Port of Spain at night is a danger zone. But I want to ask Clarence Rambarat something. How are we still a developing nation? Is Singapore, let's ask Google, the almighty Noah, is Singapore, spell it right and you'll get a better answer, a developed country? Here the answer. Officially and diplomatically it is. It is a member of the group of 77. Singapore is still a developing country party to UN treaties. Of course, there is no justification for it and people find it unfair, which is it. The reason that, well, this is just somebody's opinion, I want an actual fact. World Bank Group, let's see what the World Bank has to say. Is Singapore a developed country? Because Singapore and Trinidad and Tobago start the same time. We start the same time. And we've had 1,000,000 times more blessings and resources than Singapore. Singapore is a high-income economy with a gross national income of US $52,600 per capita as of 2017. Trinidad is 5,000. The country provides one of the world's most business-friendly regulatory environment for local entrepreneurs and is ranked among the world's most competitive economies. In the decades after independence, Singapore rapidly developed from a low-income country to a high-income country. GDP growth in the city-state has been amongst the world's highest at an average of 7.7% since independence and topping 9.2% in the first 25 years. After rapid industrialization in the 1960s catapulted the island nation's development trajectory, manufacturing became the main driver of growth. In the early 70s, Singapore reached full employment and joined the ranks of Hong Kong, South Korea, and Taiwan a decade later as Asia's newly industrializing countries. The manufacturing and service sectors remain the two twin pillars of Singapore's high value added economy. As Singapore, what South Korea? Is South Korea a developed nation? You see, I don't want to use words like jackass anymore. I don't want to. But Clarence Rambarat is an attorney and he was a professor in a Canadian university. So I want to assume that Clarence Rambarat is able to think logically, critically, and to deduce based on fact. I didn't finish my sentence. If you're busy doing other things, you go ahead and do that, because tonight we're dealing with issues. They're not bacchanal here tonight. South Korea okay, again I get this. When did South Korea become fully developed? South Korea It seems that South Korea has only become first world, like a similar level to Japan or Singapore recently. No, this is an opinion. I want fact. Country classifications, the United Nations. This is a PDF. I don't know how long that will take to load. Or if I will have to source more. That's too much information for this. South Korea, I know. South Korea is one of the largest economies in the world. And South Korea is, y'all remember the Korean War. South Korea is one of the largest economies in the world and has been one of the fastest growing economies for the last 50 years. Is South Korea an emerging or developed market? Historically, investors classify a country as emerging or developed based on metrics such as gross domestic product or gross national product per capita and individual judgments. While South Korean GDP per capita is lower than other developed markets, it is significantly higher than other emerging markets. Reasons to classify South Korea as a developed country. The size of the economy. South Korea is the 11th largest economy measured by GDP. Trade. South Korea is the 7th largest exporter. Trade market size. South Korea is the 10th largest stock market in the world. Listen, I think I'm making the point that now these governments, these political parties, all they spew is bullshit and they keep their followers. They have these people. I am watching Lima McLeod Wilkinson, a PEP member. She is the caretaker for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West. And she is raising the issue of PEP housing policy, which plans to offer zero deposit, zero interest for 30 years for first-time homeowners to do one thing. To literally drag this country into the first world. To grab all of the people under the poverty line, get them interested in starting with a minimum wage job. You meet us halfway. You get a minimum wage job. We will make sure that you own a home so that you could raise your family in safety, security, and you could have something to leave for them. And I watched Lima engaging some Trinidad UWI educated bullshitologists. I see Rohan San just joined, and he's on those conversations. They have some literal brain dead fools outside there passing off bullshit to other people. Trinidad is a country. If we were the Titanic when we started to sink, people in uniforms would have been at the railings handing people who were trying to get off the ship to safety. They would have been handing them bags of cement. That's what they would have been handing them. That's what Trinidadians do to each other. They lie to each other. They talk foolishness to each other. They tell each other. I want you to understand. Haiti bought its independence from France for $4 billion less than the PNM and the UNC stole to give Dupré and his band of thieves. $21 billion for the money that we wasted behind Dupré and his band of thieves. We could have bought Haiti. Haiti bought its independence for $21 billion. We spent that mopping up, cleaning up after the biggest legal theft that was allowed to take place in the world. Because that's what Dupré did. And all Dupré had to do it is to put his people in the PNM and the UNC and to make sure his money feed Kamla and his money feed Manning and Pandey and Rowley. So they will tell all you because them is all your royalty. So when they tell all you, this is what we doing, all you rioted, all you have a reason to riot, royalty say, Darumai and Sabga, Mugabe, the first black Syrian. When they tell you, when Manning, I mean, seriously, I don't want to get angry. And this is why I get fed up with the politics, because it's either my people are stupid, in which case, you know what? I accept. I go and walk dogs at night. My son's dogs. We have 3 huskies. And they're intelligent, and I'm watching. I'm holding the mother of the biggest dog, and I walk her, and this dog is so intelligent. You could see she's intelligent. to the point where you see where she accepts her condition. She accepts her condition that somebody walks her and somebody feeds her, and she's going to accept that she's okay with that. And she's bright enough. And you know what? If the people of Trinidad and Tobago are willing to have that level of consciousness, to let somebody else think for you, listen, do it. Do it. Play, change, exchange. I have no more time to waste. My job, and I'm saying it now, my job is to provide information. If all you want to be stupid and taught foolishness, go too hard. I'm not judging you. Everybody needs to do something and be something. And if you think that Clarence Rambarat could have get away with that bullshit statement in Singapore or South Korea, you're wrong. You're wrong. Don't come on the thread and ask me questions what I think about this and what I think about that. This is not this what for. That's not what this video is for. They have a thread. You can ask me on the wall. We're talking about something. Focus on what we're talking about. If you don't want to hear about this, switch off. Make room in the bandwidth. Let us get ourselves educated to the point. You know what I'm saying this? Because if people say, nah, we want Marcia Braveboy and Stark and Daryl Duku. That's the level we at. Give us Inchan. Give us Inchan Ishmael to think first. Give us Marcia Braveboy to think first. Let Stark guide us. Give me Daryl Duku. Give me that and I'll be okay. Because if that's what we, the collective, the masses want, let it run. Trinidad did not get here just because the politicians are corrupt and just because the business community in this country are disgustingly greedy and heartless. And they would thief milk and sugar out of coffee. We didn't get here by that. We got here one vote at a time. We got here one rationalization at a time. And Wayne Dyer coined a phrase, and he said, when you rationalize, you tell yourselves rational lies. And we've been doing that for all the 56 years of our independence. We've been telling ourselves that that son of a bitch, Eric Williams, was not gang raping the country. He and Johnny O'Halloran and Sam P. Wallace and the rest of the neo-colonialists, they were not raping, plundering, and pillaging. Even though we were seeing it, we excused it. We started to say, you know what? A fella named McCarthy say, all are we thief. And that institutionalized itself. Instead of Trinidadians throwing that off and pelting them into the sea, chasing Kamaluddin Mohammed, Errol Mahabir, Eric Williams, Johnny O'Halloran, why, and the rest of them bacchanal bandits and thieves, run them in down to the coast and make them run out in the sea and tell them hitch a pirogue and leave this country. We didn't do that. When McCarthy said, all are we thief, we said, right, that's a perk of government, thief. The first minister that put blue lights on his car and parked the crowd, and the crowd didn't say, what the hell you think you is parting the crowd for what? What's your emergency? They didn't. They said, well, all right, blue lights is a perk. Blue lights is a perk now. When they went in the parliament and they say, you know what? Let me vote ourselves tax-free status. Let us buy the most expensive cars we could buy and don't pay no tax on it at all. And they voted. And the people read it in the papers. And the people said, that's a perk of government. The people never asked, was the purpose of government, was the function of government, why we're not getting anywhere? The people didn't have an opportunity to deduce. The media, which was a bunch of, I am so angry. Trinidad, I am so angry. When the middle class people and the Goodwood Park and the Valsame people say, Phillip, angry I admit. I am angry, I'm fed up with these conversations. I'm fed up with it. I look at people who have a good life, justify why everybody else have a bad life. Just so they don't feel bad. Just so they don't have to stay up every night and think to themselves, I am a crook. I am somebody by my existence, by me being whatever, wherever, whoever they're from, the UNC and the PNM, that their existence undermines the very value and fabric of society. But the people of Trinidad and Tobago, when they realized that Basdeo Panley and Patrick Manning were absent from the Red House on July 27, 1990, so that there could be a coup and they would not get caught up on it. So it's either they were fortuitous and this is coincidental, or they knew. And if they knew, to vote them back into office after is to sanitize and say, oh, we okay with that. We okay with attempted uprising, obviously. Because people who could have been in the loop, vote them back into power. That's who we are. And if we can't change, and you know what? I know the whole idea behind networking and politics. In Trinidad and Tobago, politics is don't call out people, make friends with them. Make friends with them. Make friends with all of them and help them get you in power. But then, what do you do when you're in power? Because now you've ridden into power on the shoulders of the same crooked people that you say that you want to change the country from. I share this thing today. He who would slay monsters should see along the way that he himself does not become a monster. And I don't want to be a monster. I don't even want to be doing this. I didn't want to be doing this. Tonight's video is late because I went to the gym and then I went to walk the dogs. I say, you know what? Chad, I don't give a shit. I asked, are you all ready to shut it down? 114 people say, yeah. The rest, we cool with it. Hey, look, stuck on a wall. Hey, look at him. 15,000 people. Look. What's his girl name? Crystal Horwood. Look, Crystal Horwood posing in, look her breasts in your, not Crystal, what's, you don't know her, Kim Cole. Look, Kim Cole. No, but she don't get it because what, they had to be bad talking Phillip. Look in China, he cussing Phillip. And that's what you chase. That's what you do. That's what you give your attention to. So that's why they give you more of that. That's why they give you so much more of that. You do not have in any type of media in this country anybody talking fact and truth about what is going on in Trinidad and Tobago. We are like bumper cars. We just bouncing into issues, bouncing off and bouncing into the next issue and bouncing off. We're not solving nothing, you know. You'll realize that is 13 months now. This super fast Galatia thing start. It's over a year Tobagonians taking this journey. You'll realize that. You'll realize they arrest nobody for a Sami murder. For this little girl they find in the freezer in Iams, and don't forget about that, and all the shopping at Iams now, and they have a sale. Nowhere else in the world could Mario Sabga Aboud have sat down on TV and said that he opened 126 stores in 10 years. A store a month. And if you do the arithmetic, you will see, but wait, if a store costs $1 million to open, you need $120 million. Now, normal business is you open a business and you spend your million and it take a couple of years to recoup the million and give you a next million and you open store two. That don't happen this month for next month. So if Mario Sabga Aboud was able to open 126 stores in 120 months, he had to have access to about $120 million. And somebody had to ask him, bro, you may be the Starbucks of the Caribbean, but where did money come from? Where did it come from? Which bank financed you? Based on what? What equity did you have? A vision? I will work hard? This is what these little cousins of mine just come and tell me. Hard work. Listen, if hard work used to result in 126 stores, I could take you Mova Bitam, Lavantel and Silots and show you some very hard-working people that can't get a loan from courts. So miss me with the bullshit. And I'm putting this in the public space. that this country is how it is, undeveloped, and for Clarence Rambarat to say it, that we are still a developing nation. My question to you, Professor Rambarat, attorney at law, how long does it take to become developed, and how much does it cost? We've spent 3 trillion. Out of that, you all stole money and bought Clico. But for that money, we could have bought Haiti. So tell me, when you come to talk your shit to people, are you speaking to a population of people that you all have deduced is stupid and will accept anything you say? Because South Korea operates and had to operate the most militarized border in the world. North Korea wants to eat South Korea. Along the way, since the end of the Korean War in the last 50 years, South Korea pulled itself up from its bootstraps and made itself the 11th largest economy in the world, while policing the most military border in the world. There are more standing soldiers between North and South Korea than there are between China and Russia. Singapore has none of the resources we have. None. How did Manning get away? How did Williams get away? How did Pandey get away? And how do you all get off talking bullshit about who raped you less and who robbed you? Where do you get off with that? At what point do you not see your complacency has brought this country to a critical situation? We're not a developing nation, Mr. Rambarat. We are a failing nation. Our murder rate is failed nation. Listen, before Trump bombed Syria, we had a kill rate in Trinidad higher than Aleppo, and Aleppo was at war. That's who we are, failed nation. This is a country where Eric Williams knew who the cocaine importers were. He's the head of the National Security Council. If he didn't, he should have fired himself. Robbie knew, Selwyn Richardson knew, maybe that's why Selwyn died. Patrick Manning knew, Kamala Persad-Bissessar knows, Rowley knows who are the cocaine importers in the country, because they sit as the chair of the National Security Council, so they have to know, and if they don't know, fire all. And with that knowledge, Kamala, Keith, Manning, Pandey, not one of the 4, secure the nation's borders. Not one of the 4. There are business people in this country while the rest of us playing checkers, them playing chess. Them supporting party in power. Everybody getting some money, and all they do is just taking a little piece under the PNL. You fuss and you fight and you beat up, you call 2 names. They wait you out. They take a little piece under the UNC. You call 2 other names. The first 2, no justice, no investigation, no prosecution, consolidation. They now own that. They now own that. Now you focused on the new piece of bullshit. And you're making noise. But they know. Wait you out. Wait you out. Kiss Baking Company doesn't know how to deal with me. Kiss Baking Company knows at some point the law of the land is going to be exposed as one thing. Kiss Baking Company knows that I have served, we, the Progressive Empowerment Party, has served 16 regional corporations with letters requesting investigations, as are our rights as citizens. That if they forget or ignore, we will respond with a freedom of information request to compel them. And if they fail, we're going to court. Kiss Baking Company They have to be discussing us. This is not just us raising the issue in the public space anymore. And at some point, somebody's going to ask, how did you all think Kiss Baking Company, the largest baking empire in the Caribbean, at what point did you all think that it was okay for you all to steal and break the law? At what point, Kiss Baking Company, did you think that that was okay? Global Medical Response, Trinidad and Tobago Limited, knows we come in. They try to head us off. Defamation, sue me for defamation. I am in court spending money and they still know. Because last week Friday I told them in the court, no gag, we coming for you. We are going to sue you on behalf of every single Trinidadian who has lost their lives for as long as that devious and evil contract has existed. And you will account for the terms and conditions of that contract, what you were paid to provide and what did you provide. They know we come in. And people still talking UNC because Kamala posing with Brian Lara and Wendy Fitzwilliams. That's what she brings to the table. Kamala is over. She was over before she started. Kamala had no plan. You voted a People's Partnership government into power to vote Manning out, okay? Because Manning went mad. Manning was test driving prime ministerial private jets. Manning, wherever he wanted was taken. And he didn't give two ass about you. So the nation had to chain itself to the Royal Victoria Institute in town to prevent that jackass Patrick Manning from breaking down the museum, which is a heritage site, to make a literal car park for Napa, which Peter Minshall called copulating slugs, which the Chinese came and built here with substandard steel and put asbestos in the ceilings for your pleasure. So when it shut down under Lincoln Douglas for 4 years, is our next $100 million spent to open it back? And Trinidad, I know that. That the Napa that was budgeted for $136 million by Patrick Manning and his band of crooks and thieves, half of which still in the parliament today because they're going back in there with Rowley, despite Rowley telling the nation that Patrick Manning's cabinet is the most corrupt in the country's history, he bring them back. Kakadok bring them back, the same people. And you're okay with that because you're playing eeny, meeny, miny, more politics. So we will take Kamala to vote out Manning and we'll take Rowley to vote out Kamala, and it's the same bullshit artist you put it in the parliament. And if you start to play cards with 52 jokers in the pack, what else can you play but jokes? You can reshuffle that till the color come off the card. Jokers is jokers. Name a single member of parliament. Come on, name one. Name a single government minister in the past 30 years that you were proud of. Just one. Just one that deserved his salary or her salary. Kamala is a shit on. You know that. And the only reason for still thinking Kamala is you want to counterbalance Keith. This is a country where cancer and heart attack is always the choices. Always the choices. Winston freaking Dukaran take 170,000 Congress if the people vote and sell it for his own aggrandizement. The same shit going on in the COP to this day. Nothing of value. The Congress of the people shit on itself. Reach in the government and shit on itself. The Congress of the freaking people. Make the rest of us who were part of that sick that this is what the leadership that we hold up came to do. Winston Dukaran wants his awards, and I don't know what the hell Prakash was thinking, honestly. Because the upholder is worse than the thief. So if you were stealing, Prakash, but you upholding a government that you know is a criminal enterprise, just like them. You couldn't wash your hands, Prakash, from Section 34. And they in fact, they implicate you. Because they said that you were the legal officer that signed off. that you were heading the Legislative Review Committee and that you signed off on Section 34. So they implicate you. But look at this country. Find after the NAR, and the NAR tried. The NAR brought Clive Panton as Minister of Education, Lincoln Myers as Minister of Agriculture, and I know Lincoln Myers went to the Far East and brought miniature breadfruit. It's Ken Gordon as Minister of Communication that opened up the market and gave you a TV6 and a CNC3, because all three had was one TV station, and gave you all them radio stations that Sabga and Johnny Soon buying up now. But is he doing it? And it's that government. And I watched Jensen Fox driving as a delivery driver. I watched Clive Panton dead in poverty. Robbie dead in poverty, and he was president. The NAR tried. But fellas like Stephen Cadiz piss me off. Piss me off. Because Stephen Cadiz was in government and did fat all and come out of government writing a set of blogs. And fellas like Brian Ibrahim and them sharing this jackassery. And I want to print it out and slap Cadiz with it. You didn't know that when you was in government. You know it now, like Fuad Khan. Fuad Khan is your next jackass. Want to talk policy now? You was in government, bruh. Why you do it then? Why did you do it then? Kid Rowley advertising for Marina's joint ventures. Again, this is the 5th Progressive Empowerment Party policy that the PNM has stolen and tried to put, because we have, bruh, the manifesto and Vision 2020/Vision 2030, and nowhere inside of there is joint venture marinas for cruise ship tourism. So acknowledge the source. Acknowledge the source. And at some point, Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to publish the list, even though Sabga News Network hiding us, even though Massa Media hiding us, we will get the information to you, and you will see who has been dictating the pace of the best things that are happening in the country. The Progressive Empowerment Party, but stick up in there. Everybody sticking pin now. Everybody missing with bullshit. I waited for Fazir Mohammed to call somebody jackass on TV, and he away from calling Rowley a jackass. Fazir, when you're ready, call me back. Let's have part 2 to the conversation. Now that you watch police go in your family house and kick down front door and back door and lock up your family under a false warrant, now that you see that with your own eyes, call me back, Fazir. Now that you see what went on the ferry for your own self, come. Call me back and we will discuss it again. The country is where it is now. The country is where it is now because we are allowing it to happen. And if we continue to allow this to happen, what we allow is what we will get. There is nothing in the parliament of any substance or value. In this country, the Commissioner of Police, if he had any authority, would be writing the Speaker of the House. She is in breach. I don't even know if the Commissioner of Police has the authority under the law, and who does? Who has the authority to tell the Speaker of the House of Representatives, you are in breach, madam. You have granted leave based on nothing. That is conspiracy to defraud. On what documentation, Madam Speaker, have you granted Maxi Coffee sick leave? What did they give you? Because the Prime Minister, the head of the cabinet, and your boss said nobody in his government spoke to Maxi Coffee. So Stuart Young lie, Camille lie, Fitzgerald Hines lie. All three of them. Fire this stunting, lying, deceitful asses. But you can't, because Camille get away with making children on state funds, fixing she womb with state money, weaving she hair with state money. She get to walk in a bank with $100 and something thousand in a brown paper bag full of money and to ask with all your FIU. I can't get $200 in the bank and a loan dog give them my name, my height, my shoe size. But Camille, she could walk in there. That money could have been cocaine money. That money could have been corruption money. That money could have been put a hit out on somebody money. And nobody know because it's Camille and she's PNM. And PNM could do what they ask they want. Yes, all three of them lie. Stuart Young is a stinking liar. And everybody in Trinidad know that Stuart Young worked to distract all. He's not black and he's not Indian. And he's willing to lie. Take that. And well, Fitzgerald Hines, if ever there was a jackass competition in this country, they would have to test Fitzgerald Hines for steroids because he will win every single time. That is a well-spoken, eloquent, massa pontificating jackass. Fitzgerald Hines. Take that. There is nothing of any substance to the Speaker of the House giving leave for the third time to Maxi Coffee, and we have nobody in this country to tell the Speaker of the House, Madam, you are in breach. You are defrauding the House of Representatives. Do we go to the President? No, she has no power. She has none. It's a waste of time appointment. It is to put somebody to distract us, talk some bullshit for a while, and where we going? Speaker can't fire Maxi. The President can't fire Maxi. The President will sign in who the Prime Minister tell. It's like a trained dog. President, come here. Do this. Sit, roll over, play there, jump, go. And the President what? To amuse the Prime Minister. Under this country's law. Under this country's law. 41 people in the Parliament. Not one of them. No matter how you line them up, all stupider than the last. Not one of the 41 in the Parliament have done anything of substance to make this country better. A lie? Tell me that. Write it on the wall. Tell me here, Phillip, you're wrong. Look what Rowley do. Look what Dial Singh do. Look what Gopi Singh do. Look what Monilal do. Look what Vasant do. Tell me now, man. Tell me what they did with their time and your money. Because you paid them. You paid them, the outside man, the outside woman, you take them all over the world to stunt and perfume their ass. They ain't do shit all with it. And you have to be vexed. And if you're not vexed in Trinidad and Tobago, you're not paying attention. So Clarence Rambarat gets to tell you we are still a developing nation. And that son of a bitch, that stunting jackass, my last hope for something decent in that Parliament, I now say it's over. There is nothing of value nowhere. Clarence Rambarat now has to be put on the hot seat. He needs to be asked, define a developing nation and tell us. I went to a school, St. Mary's College, whose centenary hall says from 1863 to 1963. So that means we had high thinking going on in this country since 1863. And we can't get to developed nation yet. But South Korea, who had to survive a mad war and defend themselves from constant attack, could. That Singapore, that don't have a drop of oil or a drop of natural gas or the amount of rainfall we have, could this country still develop it? Miss me with that bullshit, Clarence Rambarat. They send you as the last one to fool people, Rowley run out of jokers in the deck. They have no more. They have no more. Not even Stuart Young believing the bullshit coming out of Stuart Young mouth. Not even Stuart. You can't call a minister of health name in this country and go and see Mount Hope, Port of Spain, and San Fernando General Hospitals. I ain't talking about Scarborough. Go and see those three because you see Scarborough Hospital cost $1 billion. This is why Kamala built the Couva Hospital for $1 billion, you know. Because she know they get away with it in Tobago, so she do it in Couva. But what they built in Tobago could have built 25 like that. For that same $1 billion, but PNN people. God, look what they do for we. Look at man in Gary. Look at man in Gary. You know he gave all you 12 ratchet inches. Because that $1 billion that built Scarborough Hospital could have built 25 hospitals in Tobago. And the $1 billion Kamala put us in debt with the Chinese. You see, wrong people, because I saw in government, I tell Chanchu Railway, whatever they ask their name is, come and take it. Take it back. We need that. We need that. Kamala was to fix Mount Hope, San Fernando, Port of Spain. Fix those trains. I read to you, since 1990, 250,000 people have been coming to Port of Spain every single day. So I'm not the only one who knows. Wikipedia knows. So that means Manning could have known, Pandey could have known, Rowley could have known, and Kamla could have known. And we could have moved all of those government offices out of Port of Spain and saved those 250,000 people all that stress. And end all that traffic. But Colm need that traffic. The mighty imp need that traffic. He need that traffic to justify coming to tell you all, boy, if we don't build a rapid rail, or they have to sit down in traffic for 5 hours a day. And you churn on a growl in a car. We could fix it. Let me spend a 20 million, man. Don't forget that your children will be grandparents and still paying that debt. Don't study that, man. Let me build it now so Gregory Abboud could make more money renting more property in Port of Spain to chirrup vendors. This is the jackassery of this country. You all have allowed a small handful of people to hijack your country. And if for a minute you all started to show that you all were willing to be real citizens in a country, responsible for your democracy, all of a sudden you will start to hear things like state of emergency and martial law. They will shut the shit down and lock it down until they enslave your ass again. It is time you understood that constitution. It is time you understood what it says and what your role is in this country. But we ain't going nowhere talking more shit. The same shit all you're talking on social media. They used to talk in the bomb and the punch and the heat and the mirror. It just moved. The shit venue change. All you're telling me the same joke. The Queen and the King and Kamla. The Queen and the King and Manning. The Queen, the King and Rowley. Oh shit, make a new joke now. Make a new joke. If you're lazy, at least make a new joke now. Cutting out one name and changing it, and you help the government, you help the country. It is time to shut it down and fire them. That's where we are at. You think waiting the next 2 years under Rowley, this country going to get better? All this shit all they're talking, they holding back money, and in the last year they go release it, and black people stupid, they go vote back there. That is the arsery that passing for political discussion in this country, while Singapore, Dubai that make its money on shipping and services, not oil. When they find oil, they enjoy that. Countries like Finland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Dubai. Those countries are where they are today because their people take their country seriously and their role as citizens seriously and their responsibility to their democracy seriously. And all three of those things we don't do. In this country, the only thing we take seriously is sex and rum and party. That is all. We laugh and joke that there was a state of emergency and there was an attempted coup, but we drink and we party. And we easy going. And they're laughing at all. Yeah. The people who rubbing you blind laughing at you. Yeah, we easy going. Post the next one of that on Facebook. Trinidad have the nicest accent in the world. Another billion gone. Another billion gone. So for these jackasses who talking about the PP's housing policy and saying that it is socialism, that is not socialism. That is equity distribution. Not even redistribution, you know. That is equity distribution. Right now, 50% of the annual budget is pork, is stolen money, is theft for bandits masquerading as a chamber of commerce, a manufacturers association, masquerading as a government, as a parliament. It is open banditry. You thief today, I thief tomorrow. PNM, UNC. And I know they don't like me. And I'm glad when they see me and they have to look down. I'm watching you in your eye and I'm calling you a crook, you dirty crook. I'll see you in court. But we We don't have the balls we're supposed to have. And when I go into court to answer for those lawsuits, 50,000 of y'all should be outside the Hall of Justice. Because that is not for me, that is for you. You live in a country where those who have responsibility to go after those who break the law only do it when there is public outcry. So people like me raise public outcry. And now they're using the courts to stifle that. You are losing your freedom of speech. When I lose, we lose. When I win, we win. Only consider it a victory that you fired Darrell Smith, but Rolf Balgobin still cheering on the Sturo, and Keith Rowley is still the Prime Minister. If people was getting fired in this country for molestation, 2 of them should have been fired too. Keith Rowley is king of the shit snakes in this country, you know. You can't be running a government of gang leaders like he is and not be king shit snake, you know. Keith Rowley know how to play this game, not the good game, how to run a country, how to deal with gangsters. That is why Marlene and Chochong doing so well in his government. How did Keith Rowley know? Keith Rowley, the biggest shit snake we've ever had as a Prime Minister, destroyed lives in this country. And we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we sit down and take it. But they will have trial dates for these matters and they will be published, but not so much anyway. You know what? Stick a pin for that for now. All they will do what all they have to do. The reality where we are now, where the rubber meets the road now, is that in your parliament you are not represented. In your parliament, the Speaker of the House could conspire and collude with a devious and deviant government and rob the people of La Hoqueta Talparo of their duly elected representation, and there is nobody to talk to. Nobody to go and say, look what's going on here. Nobody. We think firing Kamala and her band of thieves punish them, so we can bring them back. Oh God, there was a 5 years in opposition. They wasn't eating only fine China. They was eating only second-hand China. So the billions they thief, let them come back now. It is time, Trinidad and Tobago. It is time that we, as a people, took responsibility for our country. Forget all of those who went before, who didn't do anything. A woman named Lisa Samaru jump out herself and nearly cuss her and block her on my wall. I'm telling Lisa Samaru, I hope you're hearing me. You do it again, I will block you from my wall. When Sarah Kalipasad shared on the wall asking questions about what can you build in a country so dysfunctional and broken, and Lisa Samaru tell her go and ask her parents, Lisa Samaru, you are out of place. Sarah Kalipasad was doing her job as a citizen, and the next time you do that on my wall will be the last time you see my wall. Trinidadians need to be asking those questions more, not less. And jackasses, stop putting each other down. Lift each other up. Stop tearing away our chances of having a better nation. Stop thinking you win if you piss on a real option. That's not a victory. You're working against yourself. You're cutting off your nose to spite your own face. Don't think that that's a win. When you come on a conversation with nothing to add but riot and old talk and bacchanal and attack, you help nobody and you work against yourself. We are one vote away from putting a professional to run national security. A professional who understands First World War. A professional who understands how to secure a nation's borders from hostile attacks. You are one vote away from that. You are one vote away from putting a Minister of Health in office who will slash every contract and put everything back out to open and public tender, who will make sure that all of the money spent on healthcare in this country starts at every single constituency getting their 24/7 healthcare facility. You are one vote away from every child in this country getting a proper education, abolishing the SEA, creating 10-year zone schools that could tell you if the child performing and if the teacher performing. You are one vote away from home ownership for all. You are one vote away from no person who wants a job not being able to get a job. You are one vote away from this country's fertile farmland blooming, blossoming, and feeding the people of this nation affordable food. You are one vote away from a better country. And if you ever took yourself and your country seriously, now is the time. Now is the time to get involved. Yeah? Because we're one vote away. Seriously. And if we don't do what we're supposed to do, our country will sink. You're voting them in.
And these only tears.
As soon as they win,
They give you big words and enslave your soul
promising your roads.
and giving potholes. If they are the reason why the economy would sprout, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the passing laws that
Them alone can flout. What happened to Chinley wife and the 5K she get? What happened to the police officer? And we forget them passing laws that them alone could flout. You are never going to fix this country as long as you choosing between the PNM and the UNC. Get that straight. You personally might benefit. You might be able to break off a piece for yourself, but your country going to sink. And at some point, you're not going to get enough from either of them to give you a life where you could survive the way they will. When the shit hit the fan, they don't have their escape plan. You don't. You'll sink with the boat. And you'll realize then when it's too late. The only way forward for this country is the political demise of the PNM and the UNC. we need to vote them into oblivion. We need a government willing to stand up against the parasitic oligarchy, the cancerous virus that has been eating at this nation. You need a government willing to talk to you about the value of the money in your pocket. I am raising that conversation every day. Explain to me how our money is so valueless, our labor so underpaid, and everything so expensive in this country. Explain to me how shit that is made in Trinidad and Tobago finds its way into foreign countries cheaper than we have here. People will tell you, it's an undersell, they're looking to get into the market. That is called dumping. World Trade Organization says that's a no-no. You can't do that. There is a cost of doing business. What is going on in Trinidad and Tobago is straight up abuse, straight up enslavement. They want you as labor and consumer. And if they could get that, if they could get you riding the pedal that keeps the light on in their house and buying from them with every cent you get, they've replaced Massa's whip with your debt. You will pay them every month. You get your salary and it don't last. You know why? The same people paying you, you're giving it all back to them. How come you're free? How come you're free? And you're independent. And you know what's the problem? Half of you walking around outside there thinking it's only you, so your mouth quiet. You're shame. You're shame. You're shame of your condition. And that shame is keeping you in that condition. Speak out. I am catching my ass. Say it loud. Stop getting chained up and tied up by foolishness. You deserve better. If an hour of your labor in America is worth $7.25 US, in Trinidad it's worth $50. And if you're not getting $50 for your labor, but you're paying the same price they're paying for everything and more, then something very, very wrong. And all them 2x4 economists and financiers who outside there telling you that this country deserves poverty despite being one of the biggest producers of methanol, fertilizer, urea, natural gas, oil, pitch, and have all that we have, where we could be a first world food producer and be involved in stuff like tourism and marine industry. They want to give you bullshit to hold that we still a developing nation. 56 years later, $3 trillion spent yet, we still developing. How long will it take us to develop? How long? Ask Clarence that. Every single one of you who watch this video, send a message to Clarence Rambert. Ask him, how long again before we develop? Ask him that. Ask them to defend the bullshit that they spew. Write calm. Ask calm. The fancy app that you download on your phone that used to follow the boat in real time. Want it? Break down. Write Rowley. Write Rowley and ask Rowley, bro, where Maxie? Write him direct. Where Maxie? Write the Speaker of the House. She is working for you. Say, Madam Speaker, on what did you grant 3 leaves to Maxie Guffey? On what? Write them. Call them out. When they have their public meetings, go there and raise your hand. Say, save the bullshit. Save the stunting. We get it. You know how to perform. We're not interested in that. Tell us. Tell us. We want to know. We want to know. Then, and only then, will this country start to develop. The day the people of Trinidad and Tobago stop accepting shit for sugar and took their responsibility as citizens seriously. Until I could turn on my computer every night and see 1,000 live videos like mine, we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. There are plenty of people who sitting down with their hand in the lap saying, well, let me see what you could do now. But you ain't coming to help. Let me see what you could do. You're willing to piss on it. You're willing to tear it down. But you ain't willing to help. You're not willing to offer any assistance of your own. Somebody shared the other day, we want encouragers, doers, thinkers, helpers. We have enough critics. The country needs people who are willing to stand up and say, hey, that's not how it's done. This is how it's done. You should be doing it so. Shame and embarrass them. Let us get there. The Progressive Empowerment Party has a meeting this Saturday at 19 Stanmore Avenue at noon. Come out in your numbers. Come and join the conversation. Come and add to the growing mass. Ignore Inchan Ishmael and the 16 followers. If it wasn't for that Islamic station, nobody would take Inchan on. The Muslims has apologized to me for him all the time. He's a jackass of class. Inchan Ishmael. That's his legacy. He will never shake that off. A fool. What is Mark Twain said? A fool can be educated beyond his foolishness. Shall I picture Ishmael for that? The truth of this country is that nobody is sitting down with you and discussing with you where we are, where we need to be, and how we get there. That's what the Progressive Empowerment Party does. And we have informed and educated and empowered this population to the point where even the government and the opposition trying to pretend that they knew this all along. All of a sudden, Fuad can't know to decriminalize medical marijuana so that you could free the little black boys, lock up in the jail, and make some money. All of a sudden, when he was in the government, he didn't know that then. All of a sudden, Rowley know how to get involved in tourism. When they was writing their master plan, I wasn't there. They didn't know that then. But anyway, peptrinbago@gmail.com is our email address. peptt.com is our website. Pep app, P-E-P-A-P-P. That's our app. It's free to download on any of the app stores. And 347-4PEP. Don't forget, those of you who are in close proximity to Toronto, Canada, they are having an event the 12th of May. And tickets are almost sold out. I think it's $40. Don't quote me. Marissa Bash, Anil Maraj, Naz Gafur, and the rest of the team all over the wall. Reach out to them. You get more information. If you don't find them, message me. I'll hook you up with them. If you're in Toronto, Ali G can help you as well. She's the head of the overseas chapters. If you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, get on board. We meet this Saturday at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. Come out in your numbers. Come and join us. Come and be a part of a growing wave of people dedicated to changing and saving, rescuing Trinidad and Tobago. We welcome all, especially those, and I want to put this out there in case you don't know, whether you were PNM or UNC or NJAC or COP or ULF or wherever you was, don't matter, you know. You're a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, and our policy is one people under one flag. We don't discriminate. Once you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, regardless of where you're coming from, fall in, you know. This is the People's Party. There are no race talk here, there are no class talk here, there are no religion talk here, you know. We don't care who you're praying to and who you're sleeping with in the night. This is a political party dedicated to a better Trinidad and Tobago. That's our goal. That's our job. That's our responsibility, our focus. We understand that the well-being of the citizens is the purpose, reason, and function of government. And we want to make that a reality in Trinidad and Tobago. This Saturday at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. Come out in your numbers. Until we speak again, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.